Hello, and welcome back to Battle Plan, a podcast focused on spiritual warfare. I am Steve Hemphill, and Battle Plan is an ongoing discussion of how we put our faith into action. The website is active-faith.org. My email is stevehemphill1@me.com. Last time we talked about asking God who you should go visit. Today, we'll talk about praying for the lost, not just sick Christians. Matthew 18, verse 11, NLT says, "For the Son of Man has come to save that which was lost." 1 Corinthians 10:33, NLT says, "I, too, try to please everyone in everything I do. I don't just do what's best for me. I do what is best for others so that many can be saved." What a great attitude. That's the attitude we should have. I started to realize in my own prayer life that most of my prayers were my want lists, the things I was asking God for and praying for other loved ones and friends who are sick. Now, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with praying for sick Christians, but if a sick Christian dies, where are they going to go? That's right, heaven. And if they could vote to stay in heaven or come back, what do you think they would vote? They'd vote to stay. Everything there is better than anything here. And so as I began to realize that, we started a once-a-month prayer group in our home. This went on for a long time, where people would come and bring anonymous prayer requests. That way they could bring the request of a loved one or a relative or a close friend and give us as many details as we could without revealing who the person is. And when people came to my house, they would drop those in a basket. And then when everyone arrived, maybe 10 or 15 people once a month, maybe Tuesday night. I think that's what we used to do, was Tuesday nights once a month. Then we would just randomly pick different people, pick a person out of the hat. Nobody knew who we was praying for, but we knew the details of the situation. And details could be shared without being threatening or embarrassing to anyone. But the focus was, we're not going to pray for sick Christians. We're already doing that at church. We want to pray for people who are sick spiritually. Well, if most of our prayers are for sick Christians, don't you think God would get excited if we began to focus more of our prayers, or a higher percentage of our prayers, for lost people? Jesus came to seek and save the lost, and yet how few of my prayers were focused on lost people. So we did that, and some amazing things began to happen. I encourage you to consider that in your small group or community. So in light of today's thoughts, let me suggest that part of your personal battle plan might be to pray for the salvation of a person who you know is not saved. Some people just get the phone book and rip out pages and hand a page to each one. I know phone books are becoming obsolete, but there's still some around. You can pray for the people that you don't even know. Ask God to create the circumstances around that person that will lead them to an understanding that they need Jesus. You could pray for a neighbor down the street or someone who waits on you at your favorite restaurant. Ask God to send them someone who they'll listen to. Ask God to make them deaf to the voice of the enemy and only be able to hear the voice of truth. Then watch what God can do. See you next time on Battle Plan, where we're going to talk about from conviction to confession to a specific dream. And let me remind you to keep praying, because prayer works. God loves you, and I love you. Have a great day.